Subbies are what is up.
I'm telling you, man. Uh,
Tired of the shit.
yeah, everybody's out there making the brokers all kinds of money.
Hope we're getting paid.
All of them are getting paid, man.
Okay, so we are going to talk about some subbies. We're going to talk about some trades, some trade the pool, some shit you got going on because you got a lot going on.
I'm telling
But
you.
it's good to talk about that kind of stuff because it's real world type of stuff, right? It's like our thing. It's what we try to, I don't know, put out into the world because it's a whole different game when you have kids in a family. Whole different game.
A lot of people don't understand, man.
I would say the majority of our people that we trade with regularly, I'd say the majority don't.
Oh, absolutely not.
Anyway,
Not
Stevie
knocking,
and-
not knocking them though.
No,
That's their
yeah.
thing.
dude, like not at all. I've told people before if I could do it all over again, I would try. I tried to get back into trading when I had kids, and that's tough. Um, anyway, we'll get into it. Do the intro thing. Get my drink together. Chop it up.
Hit it.
Wasn't a bad week, but I'm hoping this summer lull kind of comes to a close. Let me say that.
Yeah, man. I was just talking to Valentine the other morning. I was like, he was kind of saying, "Oh man, everybody's complaining about a slow market," but he was talking about his buddy's been killing it, and I was like, I mean, man, I have times like that too, where everybody's, says it's slow and I'm doing good, and then there's times where I feel like everybody's doing good and I'm doing just terrible. But right now, I'm not really doing a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's a super slow market. I don't think that's the case. Like I've seen slower markets. This is not a slow market. It's just, you got to play what you're given and the theme right. Sorry, he did it when I did it.
Hey, thanks for
We're gonna
joining
try.
in, brother.
It's just taking what the market gives you, and subbies is part of it, and whatever. Fees suck. So
Hell
I'm
yeah,
gonna
they do.
show. I traded a subby this week. I used to not trade anything sub $1.50. Most of my scans were $1.50 or higher, or I wouldn't fool with it. Then I lowered it to $1. I've since lowered it again. Adapt or die, right? So I've been trading more of them, and I did trade a subby this week. But there's just okay. So let me just say this: if there's some subbies that are trading around 10 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents, I'm not. That's just me. Unless
Yeah,
it's
I
an
mean, think about
amazing setup.
how many thousands of shares do you have to take?
So quick math, right? If you're doing something 10, 15 cents and you locate, I don't know, 20,000 shares to even get a halfway decent position size, you can be upside down on that. Even if the locate is a penny or less, you can still be upside down $500 real quick. Like Laser, and he posted this to Twitter, so I don't feel like I'm calling him out because he put out some real insight. Like he took a loss on one a day for around 1,000, not a huge loss. But by the time he adds in fees and locates, I think he was upside down, not quite double that, but it added significantly to the loss. Now we're talking short side. If you're taking these subbies on the long side, you're cutting out half of the fees right out of the gate. You're not paying for locates. Obviously, me and longs, whatever. I don't really have that. It's not my thing. I'm not comfortable longing these small caps and
Lewis, what's up, dude?
Um,
We got to have Lewis on here. I know he was busy last weekend.
Yeah, one of these weeks we got to get him on here because I want him to talk about his charts because his charts are like taboo in a sense on Twitter, but I've told him before, like, dude, if you're making money, who gives a shit? Doesn't like, yeah. I mean, he ain't missing much.
I see
seen
him. I see him post DAS charts sometimes too, though. Like, I don't know if it doesn't look like maybe I'm wrong.
I've never seen. I could be wrong too. I've never seen him post a DOS chart. He could. You could get it. You can get DOS.
Not execution charts, but like
just the charts.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe he has an account like with. I know he's in Canada. Maybe he might have a Centerpoint account too. I don't know.
Maybe.
And that's how Charles is. Charles is all about Centerpoint and he loves Trade Zero too. He's got
them locates because they have everything.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's got. Oh, okay.
That's what it is. That's about how I am. I use Thinkorswim as like my main charting platform, and I use DOS to execute.
Oh, do you have like Okay, I see. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I like to execute on DOS, and I use Cobra. It's man, I can hardly trade on anything else.
And I'm not hating on Cobra as far as these subbies. I'm not hating whether it's Cobra, Guardian, or Centerpoint, or whoever. You got to pay the locates, which even if they're a half a cent, if you're locating 20K plus shares of something because it's so cheap, that's going to just add up. So for me, I'm not trading these subbies unless the expected value for me out of that trade is pretty high, because to get into it, you're upside down easy, couple hundred or maybe even double, triple that, depending on how many shares you've located or the size you're trying to trade. You just got to get a big chunk of that move to make it worth it, and that can be tough because if it goes against you, kind of messes with your head. Shit, I don't want to trade it. Easy, okay. If you want to get that money back, it's a whole different ball game, and they're tough. I mean, they're tough, but some guys are killing them. Some guys go long on them, to each their own. But for me, it is somewhat of a mind fuck, man. Whatever.
For me, I traded one when I was out of town in Oklahoma like a week ago. I made like a few little small trades, and I was like, I just remembering how the fees are on them. You know, I'm not really much for subbies. I mean, so many of these subbies are only subbies because everything's pounded down so much right now. But yeah, that was one that I hated that I missed. But dude,
so this is, I think, the only sub-dollar. I could be wrong. It's hard for me to keep up. I'm not good with remembering all my trades. If it weren't for TraderSync, I wouldn't remember shit. This one I remember because it worked out. I may have taken others that break even or losses, whatever. But this one worked out. I'm going to show the daily. But this one was, I took it at 40 cents. Still pretty cheap, but I don't need as many shares of something that's trading at 40 cents as I would at something trading 10 cents. And a lot of guys DM me and were like, oh, bro, I thought you were all about the OTCs. And I was all about the OTCs, but I traded them out of Thinkorswim, and it was 95% on the long side. In Thinkorswim, you're just paying a flat fee, and that's it. So that's why I say with these subbies, if you're on the long side and you're using E-Trade or Thinkorswim or hell, I don't know, Webull or maybe even Robinhood, I don't know how those two work, but I mean, it's a whole different ball game.
Out of all of the Fisher Price brokers,
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, and I'm just gonna say this, everybody talks shit about it. Webull is the best fucking one, dude.
I know you love their charts,
dude. All right, like I tell everybody, I worked construction for 10 fucking years. I used to trade off of 2 phones out of man lifts and shit. I was a pipe welder, since I was like 18. Went through apprenticeship, all that good stuff. That's how I learned how to trade, was on 2 phones. I paid for service on both of them. I found Webull in I got serious in 2019. I found Webull. I was like, this is it. I had Webull. I had Trade Zero. Well, it was Interactive Brokers. Then I went to Trade Zero. That's how I was doing it, man. Now that I'm, sitting at my desk trading, I've got I still pull up Weeble's, just their little top gainers and stuff on the computer, just because I mean they've got some solid built-in scanners, man. It's easy to operate. The charts look good. I've got them up. I've got my Thinkorswim or Schwab, whatever it is now. You know, with
I'm a
my,
little worried about that transition.
yeah, me too, man. When I got that email, I was like, damn it.
I know.
I got them up. I've got my stuff up, my trading view up for the futures, and then the broker for them. I got Cobra up. I've had to find a spot to put trade the pool, moving it around, Discord. And then if I need to like do a quick Google on a company, it's piled on there. But anyway,
Wow. So this is the only subby this week that I can remember because I didn't trade. Wednesday I take most Wednesdays off. Thursday we did our interview with the Trade the Pool CEO, and that kind of killed the morning because we didn't get to prep the way we normally do. So Wednesday, Thursday I didn't even trade. So kind of a shorter week. But this is the only subby I really remember trading this week that I have a screenshot of and had success with. But 40 cent, it's not quite as bad as a 10 cent, 12 cent, even 15 cent stock. So anyway, this was a Jet call out, I'm pretty sure. I think Jet's call outs are like 100% win rate. But I think he said he wanted it at 40, and I'm looking at it, and I like it at 40. So this actually worked out extremely well. This
Jet
was
needs to start a call out service.
and he should take his trades he calls out, for the record. If you're listening, Jet, you should take your call outs because they're money.
Dude, I know. Me and you, he was saying like, man, I bet y'all have made more money off of or whatever it was he said.
Yeah, we've made more off his call outs than he has.
Yeah, I mean, and we're all bouncing ideas off each other in there.
But this was a good one. I'm going to show the daily, and also why I liked it because, we reference the daily on everything. But I know it's pulled up. I got to get my mouse down. So this, whole area, 40 cents, first of all, the daily just shows a ton of failed follow through, right? And that's what I like to see on the daily. That's what you like to see. That's what any short seller likes to see on the daily. That's what we want to see. We want to see these huge wicks that just don't hold up. And Works has plenty. And this daily goes back way further. This is a pretty zoomed in shot of the daily where the price is a little more relevant. But all throughout the daily, this whole thing's history, it has a ton of these type of wicky candles that just can't hold up. The gap stats weren't great. Whatever. But
this thing's been around. It's been around forever, man. I remember this name from years ago.
This was a meme stock back in the day too.
Dude, yeah, I remember when I first was getting real serious into trading this, and it was way higher than it is now.
Oh yeah, this thing was. It had its good days.
Way bigger market cap, yeah.
But seeing the daily with all these wiki things like that makes me feel good, and then seeing this here around 40. We talk about bag holders a lot, and I know that's a bad way to describe them. But if you're bagged, you're bagged. And fortunately,
my wife's bringing me some aspirin. You see this belly?
Oh, that belly's not gonna be there too much longer.
No.
Probably about 5 more weeks.
It's exciting. I'm happy for y'all, man.
Thanks, man.
But I also know that's why you've been
stressed.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't had my youngest is 8, so it's been a while since I've been through that, but it's a lot.
Oh, I know. That's what my son. He's always asking. He's always asking about your son. He's like, he was like, he'll be asking other little boys. He's like, "Are you Craig's son?" And I'm like, "No, you've seen him. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, my kid's a little older, but
he's about 2 years. I mean, my boy will be 6 next month.
Yeah, they're about 2 years apart, roughly.
Yeah. My next one, he'll be born in November 1st now. It's gotten moved up.
I swear I remember you saying that.
It was supposed to be the 8th, but
it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, literally like
soon.
Really quick. Yeah.
But anyway, this was the only subby I think I traded this week and had success with. May have been the only one I traded. But when I see the recent bag holders on some volume, I get excited about that. When I see all the failed follow through, I get excited about that. So when it comes to Confluence, because we talk about that a lot, it's got the bag holders, it's got all the failed follow through all over the chart. And when it got up, and I think the whole time in chat that morning, I think I was saying, because I think I'm gonna pull up the original chart. Yes, I remember saying in the chat that morning, I was like, I'm not touching this thing until it gets into the 40s. And I didn't honestly think it was going to make it. And it did make it. And I took it like right at 40 or 39 or somewhere in that ballpark. But,
dude, that was a sick trade, man. That was like perfect.
Almost the top tick. Damn near.
You don't, dude. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna see if I can get it from our buddy. I'll if I do, I'll send it to you. The top tick script.
You got that?
I'm gonna get it. I think we know somebody who's got it. I'm gonna get it.
Does it add liquidity?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know what? I don't even care. Give me the top tick.
That's what I'm saying.
But I said in chat the whole morning, I was like, I'm not touching it until it gets to 40. I'm not touching it until it gets to 40. I didn't even pre-locate this thing until it was in the higher 30s. And anyway, it worked out. But so I'm not totally anti-subby. But I've also said in the chat numerous times, like, I'm not really interested in a subby unless it's at least up. I mean, minimum. I prefer 100%. I really don't even get excited about it until 60, 70. But give me 100% subby that's over, at least a quarter, and I'm getting a little interested. But if it's up 30, 40% and it's sub $1, especially sub 50 cents, no.
So like my thing is, and this is why I've had several people hit me up and be like, dude, are you not trading anymore, whatever? And they're like, I thought you were going to post trade the pool charts and stuff. And I'm like, well, look, I mean, even on trade the pool, when you trade a bunch of shares on a subby, it's you pay a lot more in fees.
Yep. And we'll get to trading. We'll get to post more trade the pool charts when they fix that execution thing to where they stay on there for a longer period. Like I use trade. I'll get into it, but yeah, I mean, unless we take a picture of our charts, the executions disappear.
Yeah, I mean, and so many people have been asking me about it, and I just, to be honest, I haven't been trading a whole lot of anything. I've maybe had in my regular account, I've maybe had like 2 trades in the past 2 weeks, and then I've had like 1 trade in the trade the pool account. I trade, except for the past 2 days, I forgot to trade futures. I'm just so busy, and I usually do my futures scalping for like 15, 20 minutes in the morning on all those combined accounts.
Yep.
But I feel bad I hadn't been posting anything, and I have people asking me. I said I was going to post stuff, but God,
dude, I wouldn't even.
It's insane.
You got a month, a little more than a month before this baby comes. Like I don't feel like you owe anybody anything other than your wife.
Oh, I know. I mean, I know. I mean,
it.
it's sort of for me too. Like for myself, like I've got to be mentally clear. Oh, and yeah. By the way, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You might have already shared that on there.
I don't think so.
But
it's real world shit, man. Like when my wife was pregnant, especially the last couple months, this was 8 years ago, and I wasn't actively trading 8 years ago. Almost 9 years ago now. I was studying and doing stuff like that. But I mean, the last couple months of her pregnancy, I mean, she was my world, right? Plus we had a daughter already. Like you got your son. That changes everything.
Yeah, and I really only started trading like right after my son was born. And
right.
And I was just dabbling in it. Like I didn't get serious until he was like 2 or 3.
And for anybody listening, right? If you already have a kid and your wife is 8 months pregnant, I dare you to ask her to take care of your kid so you can trade. I dare you.
Oh man, the other day I stayed in here. I don't remember what day it was. I was like, man, I'm gonna hang out and trade all day, and I was trying to stay in the chat. I was right here at my desk here. It was like a Friday. I want to say maybe it was a Monday. It was last Monday. That's what it was. I wound up like over trading futures, and then she was pissed at me. She was like, "What?" She's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be finishing the paint on the wall in there, you know, because she can't." She's trying to help a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
So there's been that, and it made me feel like shit. So this whole week I've been kind of like down about it, you know, making her mad, but I'm still getting my little trades in the morning.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Oh yeah, we still got to move all of our stuff out of our bedroom into our new master bedroom. Move my son out of his room into our old bedroom, and then move. Go get the storage unit and get all of the baby stuff, the crib and all that, and put it in my new son's nursery. And luckily, still got my office. So
that's a lot.
But anyway, yeah, I won't bore y'all with that. This just
no, it's part of it. I'm gonna show a boredom trade because you and I had a good conversation in our room this morning.
That's another thing I was gonna say though about subbies is my ideal subby is something that is gapping up pre-market and gaps up 100%, and that 100% move is getting it about to $1. You know what I mean? Like
I would agree with you. I need 100% to really get excited. The closer to $1 or better, because these 12-cent stocks just don't really do it for me.
Yeah, like if something's gapped up and it's up like 85%, and then in the 10 minutes before open, it's up like, 92%, and then right at open, it spikes into like 102%. And also that 102% is like $1.02, $1.19, anywhere around there. That is an ideal subby for me.
Yeah, I would be more excited about that than I would these 12 centers. You and I
traded a 12-cent stock. I haven't traded any of these, and I'm not.
Shit, you ain't missing
man, I'm not even upset to say it.
Hell no. So you and I this morning in our room both said we sent the same message at the same time, and we were like, these are the type of days that will force us to take bullshit trades and get chopped up. And we both like put that in our own words at the same time at like 8 a.m. this morning. And good advice. Unfortunately, this is the type of trade that like I didn't follow our own advice. Like I don't trade large caps really very often, especially on any sort of, I was trying to catch some continuation to the downside because Nvidia's been trending down. Apparently I traded on somewhat of a reversal day. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This isn't my setup. This isn't something I normally trade. This was essentially a boredom trade. And of course it's a loss, as it should be. Like this is not wise. This sucks. Like just looking at it now is like, why? Why? And really I could have got out and made a little bit of extra money and been done with it, but no, I hold and, let it climb back up, and could have stopped out for break even. No, don't do that. I just proceed to let it go against me, and then take max pain and cover on a nice little wick out. But this is a boredom trade, and this is what today I don't know, it sucks because I usually don't do stuff like this, but I did today. That's a loss. It's a nice fat loss out of boredom. Completely stupid. The last time I traded Nvidia was like months ago. I don't need to be trading Nvidia. I don't know Nvidia like that.
Nvidia.
Yeah. Anyway, I do have one good trade that I traded. This is the best trade for me for the week in Cobra. However, so I'm super happy with the patience. I don't feel like I could have asked for. The only thing I could have done better on this trade is the core. I took the core out. I mean, I say early, but I took the core out here. I loved my entry after the halt resume. I tried to let it set atop. Took an entry. I took the core out. I took some after the halt down. I had to. I took more out on this flush, and I took more out here after. I don't know. This curl up kind of faked me out. Whatever, and it shook me out. And all I had. This is just lotto size, and it was. I wish I could say this was the core of it. It wasn't. Still a really solid trade. Very happy with it. Happy with the patience. But what I guess kind of irritates me is two things. So we were talking about this trade this morning in our room, right at open. And guys were, I did all right. I just wish that last cover would have been more size, but it's all good. I appreciate it.
Dude, that was a sick trade, man.
It was a tough one. This was a tough ticker, but what is a little irritating, or I guess not irritating, room for improvement, right? A lot of guys in the room were talking about it at open. Like, hey, I'm long, or I'm short, or I'm this, or I'm that. A lot of obviously more short biased room. And I'm just like, man, the volume, it's not right. Like, if a sub-dollar stock is doing 1 million shares a minute, who cares? Because when you talk about dollar volume on a sub-dollar stock, whatever, it's not really that big of a deal because it's so cheap. Now, if it's doing 4 or 5 million a minute, that's a little bit different. But this stock was trading at roughly $5, $6 a share, whatever it opened. And you're talking about almost $1 million a minute. That's a little more significant.
That's a lot. Think about how much money that is.
Yeah. So, and this thing didn't do much in pre-market. It wasn't the biggest gapper. So when this thing opened and the volume was coming on the tape heavy, I was like, man, this just ain't right. I was like, I'm not touching it. This doesn't feel good.
Hey, we're doing this.
I just didn't feel good about taking a short on it. Is that Sawyer?
Yeah. Come shut the door.
Wait till you have 2 of them.
I know, man. He came and brought me this.
Nice. My kid made me a Pokeball. You can't see it.
Oh, on your dry erase board.
Yeah, he made me.
I got one down. I got one over here now too.
Yeah, Pokemon's back. Pokemon is back.
Oh, dude, it is back, man. Like Charles's brother is always like trying. He comes over here and we play guitar. He's like Stevie Ray Vaughan good, and I'm like, I don't know who to compare it to. I've been playing guitar for 20 years, but I'm not as good as him.
It.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a little older than me. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't like it at open. Too much volume, especially based on the pre-market. If you're a guy that does volume forecasting from pre-market to open, you expect certain things to happen. This blew out those expectations. So I didn't touch it. But what bothers me about that, right, is I'm like, this is not a short. This is not a short. This is not a short. Why can't I long that? Right?
Oh, dude, this was I don't want to say A+, but
I mean, say it. It's holding above VWAP. The volume is obviously there. It's above every EMA we ever look at. Like, this was probably an A+, and you did long it, and you killed it.
Unfortunately, I didn't take it in my real account.
Well, so I killed it in my real account, and I butchered it in Trade the Pool because I was trying to short it early and butchered it.
Just wanting to short it, just because it's the biggest thing up. I know.
Yeah, and I really started to get short on it and Trade the Pool on this this candle here. I got it.
Put your mouse over it. Let me see.
This one right here. Can you see it?
No, hang on.
It's the right here. Can you see it now?
I was about to say, was your mouse black or something?
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude. And after that, I was like, get damn cat. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. But that was the candle I started shorting into on Trade the Pool, and then of course it curled up, halted up, ripped me on that Trade the Pool account, which it sucks, but I'm not as worried about that. But it just sucks because I was early in that account. played it perfectly in this account. But even here, the volume it's just so, I don't know. It just didn't set with me well, so I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Fortunately, it halted up.
I mean, that's
And-
big. I mean, almost $1 million a minute on something at $6. It's holding up after that big, man. And I wish I would have been typing it. And I don't want to sound like that guy that's like, oh, I knew. You know what I mean? I just like,
No,
it was Chinese. It was
I'm gonna show the daily because the daily sucked too.
Man.
The only reason I took this trade was because of the halt resume and the blow off move that it had on lower volume. That's the only reason I took it. Yeah, I mean, at least I mean, if I'm gonna trade one account well, I prefer it be my real one.
oh yeah, dude. Man, I wish I would have taken the trade I took in trade the pool on my real account because
Hell yeah, because that long was, I mean, killer. But
yeah, I traded like something like, I don't remember, 10 or 15,000 shares on it.
it's irritating because the whole morning I'm like, this is not a short yet. This is not a short yet. The volume is just, it's not right. It's coiling up on high volume. The tape was relentless buying. Every dip was just getting ate up. I mean, if you look at the candles, and these are 1 minute candles, there are no wick downs, hardly at all. It's just getting ate up the whole way up, getting ate up, getting ate up, getting ate up.
So like,
And
A+ long for me, and I'll have to show it, but like, I'm sure if you can pull your mouse over it, like the curl after that wick, so to the right there, a little
Right in
more, a little more, not even so much there because I've seen them fail off that spot right there, holding right there and getting tight, how it kind of gets tight together right
Yep.
there over, like, not the wick high but the previous height of that wick. That is like, to me, I want to be long in that shit. I thought it was gonna. Just because of how shit's been lately, especially stuff like this, I don't want to hold through a. Let's see here. MLG riggers literally walked one up, then just fucking teleport it up.
it was a tough ticker to trade. I know that.
Oh yeah, and I'll show you but see, that's exactly what you said, Lewis. The people that longed it, they thought it was going to do that second pullback. I did not want to mess with it again. That's what I shut it down right after that. I got out of the chat that morning. I was like, because that's, I mean, if I say, oh, I'm going to hang out, I'm going to give it all back. I always do. So I got to just go, especially if I had a good win on that account. It's not my real account, but I mean, I'm halfway through the evaluation.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like, we both talked about that too. We both want to get through the evals so we can start trading on the funded and profit split and make money, right? Any way we can make money. But people ask me, why did I short it? Where I shorted it? When I shorted it, it was a halt resume setup. I mean, I got, we used trade ideas, and it was it popped up on the scan for me. I wasn't really interested in it before the halt resume, and this is the other reason why. This daily is horrible, but also, I know it's kind of hard to see, but before this candle here, there's one more candle that goes all the way up to like 70. But I took that out of the equation because once it broke through this candle here, there's literally nothing. There's no resistance. Not really. Like, this daily sucks as a short seller. There was no that, and so guys that were shorting in the room, I kept asking them, like, what do you, and I'm not asking to be a dick if that's what they think. I hope that's not what they think. I'm literally trying to like ask for insight. I'm like, what are you risking it off of? And sometimes it was a a certain percent or whatever. But the daily just does it offered nothing. So the only reason I took the trade was because of the halt. And I didn't even, sometimes you and I both will literally, after a halt resume, we will smash it right after the halt.
I mean, yeah, we've got that halt resume setup that me and you trade. I mean,
right.
But it's a setup that we know is that's a high win rate setup.
Oh yeah, but something like this, I'm not gonna smash the resume immediately when it's in no man's land. So fortunately, I waited until because after it unhalted, it ran up like another point, and then it slammed back down, and that's when I got in.
Shoot, I thought it went up. It halted at 8:02, I think.
Yeah, and then it opened at like 9, and then ran to
went all the
10.
way to 12. I thought, or was it 10 or 12?
I thought it was 10. I could be. Let me go back to my other one.
Well, I mean, dude, like I had to shut it down after that.
I don't blame you.
Even though, like I said, I only took it on Trade the Bull, it's still. I was like, man, I'm halfway through this eval. Like, this was a good trade.
Oh yeah, I had to shut it down too. It ran to 10.
Oh yeah, okay, my bad.
Yeah, but anyway, this. So yeah, I took it on the halt resume, but I took it after I didn't smash the resume. I waited until because I thought, and I even said in the chat, I was like, this thing could open and it could halt up again. The China tickers, this thing could have went to 200. Nobody knows. It's a China ticker. We've seen OMH, we've seen Top, we've seen CCG, we've seen all these random China tickers go from 1 to 1,000 or 1 to 100 or 1 to 200 or whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, plus these China tickers, dude, like, you never know, man.
God, I just looked at Twitter because, we were talking, Jet was talking about Madaz, and I'm not trying to call him out. He's, super transparent. We always say that. Jet was saying, he said, put up your bets. Did Madaz lose less or more than, or did he lose less or more than 30 grand? Or maybe it was, did he lose at least 30 grand on MLGO today? And like I said, I'm not trying to call him out.
No, he posted, so he's very transparent about his stuff. I love his transparency. 100% love and respect his transparency. But I'm gonna say over 30 probably, because I know he trades this type of stuff, and I know he trades these halt downs because this thing did this. So my guess, because he doesn't post his executions, my guess is after this halt down where I covered some, I'm guessing he got long in it because he looks to long those halt down out of the halt down, looking for that just a quick bounce because he scalps. But this didn't bounce. That's my guess.
That's what it was. He posted just now. Like I said, Jet said Jet, man. If Jet could just do exactly what he says, it would be. Yeah. I mean, because he can read this. He can read the market. If he could just do exactly what he says, he said, I know, or he said, I bet Madaz lost at least 30. MLGO negative $30,170.04. I was like, dude, I said it in the chat. I was like, I believe you're predicting the future.
He called it. I mean, but we know what he does. He's been trading the same way, the same style for a lot of years, and he would normally what does he call them? Will wash out long, after it unhalts or whatever. And unfortunately for him, this one didn't bounce. And actually, I don't have the full chart, but my last cover is at roughly 550. I think this thing went down another point after my cover. I think it's currently at like $4.50 a share.
So I've got on my charts, especially when something goes past like certain EMAs, I'll look for low gap fills on something that gaps up this big. I have where the gap fills, all the gap fills are highlighted and they go across on my chart. Like not the chart I trade on, but like charts that I just chart on. And this thing bounced off that lower gap fill to a wick. And
that's a thing too, because he's also big on the gap fills, up or down.
Yep.
But this was a tough ticker. I mean, I know a lot of guys on the front side of this before the halt up were chopped up the whole way up. And there were, a lot of guys won't show the losses or show the charts or whatever. I mean, this was tough, man. This was a tough freaking ticker because, and can you see my mouse yet?
Yeah.
Okay. And I even think I said in the chat, I was like, damn, I wish I would have shorted that. Now, in Trade the Pool, I did, but I wish I would have had shorted that in Cobra. obviously this wasn't it, but how many times have we seen this type of wick be it? So I'm sure a lot of guys got into that pretty heavy, probably added into this pretty heavy, and then some guys probably did not get out before this halt. Some probably did, some probably didn't. If you have any sort of size on these type of things, sometimes you just don't get filled, and then you get halted up on. And that could have been Madaz, that could have been a lot of guys, but those halt ups, if you're in with any sort of real size, sometimes you just don't get out. I don't care if you hit market or what you hit, you just don't get out. So this was a super tough ticker, long or short in certain areas. Obviously, if I could long, I think I put in the chat, I was like, if I was a pro trader, I'd have long this, and then flip short. But I don't long very.
And like for me, man, everything about it looked like a long. And I told you I'm not.
Well, you did though. How much? I won't say how, because I know we're on eval, but you took some nice size shares and you made like a few $1,000 on that eval account. So you're not done with it, right? You got to be close.
Yeah, thankfully I've kind of turned it around. I drew it down almost to where I blew it, and then I came back a little bit, like a couple $100, couple little scalps. Then today came back, I'm a little over halfway again. I had gotten it up like quite a bit and then effed it up, and dude, I've just had to learn how to trade on them, and this I would not recommend doing it like this, because I traded
do you have that screenshot?
Yeah, let's see here. Like I said, man, I wish I would have traded it on. I didn't make any real money trading today whatsoever. I only made, well, I don't know, take that back. I had 100% win rate on futures this week.
Yeah, you've been killing the futures. But you know what though? Like when the market is what it is, it's not ideal for the way we trade or whatever. I don't see anything wrong with leveraging the trade the pool a little bit harder in times like this. Because capital preservation is real. Sometimes there's no trades. Like I threw away money today on Nvidia. That was stupid.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Does that look clear?
Yeah. I was gonna say click open in browser, see if it makes it bigger. It didn't. Click it again. Just the picture. It's clear enough.
Wait, hang on. Do you see it on the? What do you see now?
The Discord.
Shit. Oh, all right. Hang on. Let me change this. Hold on.
It's a sick long. I think you were getting long where I was short in trade the pool, because I've made a joke in the room. I was like, yeah, sellers held out on me.
Dude, I was thinking so much when it was happening that, okay, now, all right. Does that look
good? Yeah. You can see what you got long into,
So like I got long here when it broke over that, but I don't really like it being tight like that. You know what I mean? So I tried to get all out right here, and it, how trade the pool is on Phil's. Like we had somebody kind of talking shit to us after we did our interview yesterday with the CEO. Somebody that had a screenshot of their execution arrows on trade the pool with like they had say they were getting filled on something. It was like right here, and then they were like
I asked him questions about that, but he didn't answer my questions. I was wanting to know what ticker it was, to know whether it was even liquid, because I've had that happen in DOS on illiquid tickers, but it might show outside the candle, but you could still get, you look at your actual order book and it's not. Anyway,
I've gotten in, that's what I was going to say, and I've told you this, and I've posted charts like this in the room, all kinds of stuff, even on DOS.
Yep.
When I've got like several thousand shares of something, and I tried to hold it all day, I'm like, it's gonna be a big win, and then it gets super, it's like a para that I trade, low volume parabolics, and it gets super thin at the end of the day, and I get kind of what's the word, a little hard-headed, and I'm like, I'm holding it, I'm holding it. And this thing, it's starting to do that chart where it like almost doesn't even look like it's doing a chart, just like tiny little lines. And then I start trying to get out, and it'll be filling me like half.
Yeah, you're moving the price up at that point.
Yeah, and then it's like then I see the volume pop on there, like from me.
That's you.
I mean,
That's
and
you,
it's not
big
like
dog.
I ain't covering no 50,000 shares, but like, say I'm covering 5,000 shares and I'm hitting the market, like it's moving the price, and then somebody else buys it, and then I'm like, shit, let me get all of it out. I'm like,
Uh-huh. But well, so that's what I was gonna say too. On the because I traded MLGO in Trade the Pool today. I wish I had my execution chart because it's literally the polar opposite of yours, but worse.
and
You know, I
I
shorted
wish I
it.
would have held out more, but I had like, uh, I don't remember if it was 5,000 shares here or 10,000 at this point, but I took a lot because of the volume, because it was breaking out here, and I mean, I know I got in here before this, but like this is kind of what I wanted to see after I got. I mean, if it would have broke down to like my last sell, this would have been a break even trade, and the reason why I let this go against me here is because I already took off a good bit there. I was already up a good bit. It would have had to have go to about 640 for me to break even. And like I said, that's why when I added in so big there, and it was too much size. That's why I was getting out so quick. But it was still like nearly a $3,000 trade on
Which is super nice.
fake money on Trade the Pool. But like I'm trying to get through that eval because I really want to
Right.
see what it's about. I want to get like a payout just so I can show you guys, be like, hey, even if I just take $100 or $1,000 or whatever kind of payout over after like a week or two, be like, hey guys, look, like here it is. Here's $500, $1,000. Like,
No,
so
same. I'm with you.
just
I
because
want to do the same
I
thing.
mean, we did our interview with him, and I have so many people talking to me about it now, and they're like, they keep asking me, well, when are you going to get your payout? And I'm like, well, it ain't gonna happen yet, dude. But like I'm telling you, I'm going to let you know if anything wrong happens. Last thing we want to do is, give some credit on something that we don't think is legit. Because that's not what we're about.
Well, too, it's trading from like I've told me and you were talking about that day. I gotta move some real estate around my screens because trading on two accounts is it's I, it's tougher. I'm really hyper focused on like my main account sometimes, and I forget about Trade the Pool or vice versa at
I
times.
do
So
too.
that can be tricky. But one thing I noticed today on MLGO or MG, whatever that ticker's called, the fills I was getting on Trade the Pool, I guess because it was so liquid that
They were
even my market orders were, I mean, they were good fills on point, but it was such a liquid ticker. I would expect that.
Dude, I mean, and that's the thing, is the only reason I didn't get filled on that last sell on the first long I took was because it was a limit order. But like all those buys were market buys, and it was getting me in right where I wanted to get in.
Yeah, and that's why I asked that guy about that picture. He CC'd me on Twitter, and which is fine. But I asked questions. I didn't get any answers on the question. But I'm like, dude, what ticker was it? Because I want to know how, was it an illiquid ticker? Because I don't care who your broker is. If it's an illiquid ticker, good luck. I don't know. But it was just limited information. So I personally haven't had any. I traded CCG out of it, and my fills on CCG were shit because CCG was an illiquid ticker. But when it came to
I get shit
MLGO,
fills on Cobra sometimes. I mean, they're still probably a little better than Trade the Pool all around. But damn it, man, you can open an account with these people with $100 and potentially get 20K of funding. Which, by the way, I've had so many people ask us when we did our interview yesterday. Y'all, I suggest anybody that's interested go watch it. The CEO said it is real money. Those
Yeah.
were his words.
profit
So
split.
that's
I
why
guess
they
if
do
you,
that. It's a bit more aggressive profit split than futures trading platforms. But I mean, but dude, if you only have $100 or like, that's all you have, you can't do shit with $100, even in a Robinhood account. I mean, especially not in a Robinhood account, but I don't even know if you can trade with $100 in a Webull account. I've had like little $1,000, $1,500 Webull accounts before. I think I still got $1,000 in one.
yeah, I think even Trade Zero is like minimum
I want to say it's like
3,000 or something, maybe
shit,
1,500.
I think it's like 4K. It
Is
used
it?
to be.
It could be. I honestly don't
I
know,
always
but
kept. I always had like 5K Trade Zero accounts. Now, uh, CMEG, I had like $1,500 accounts, and like my last little, claim to getting back to a real account in the States was off of like a $2,000 CMEG account, but their fees are outrageous.
yeah, and I don't think either one of us are ever going to suggest that trade the pool is some end game. It could be a nice supplemental income or get you to a point where hopefully you can get into Cobra or Guardian or Centerpoint or whatever. Because PDT in the States sucks,
Bad.
freaking horrible. So it's anyway, it's a way around it. But yeah, I mean, if we had to pick between Trade the Pool or our main broker, obviously I've been picking my main broker because that's the one that's going to pay me, and I have more access to capital. It's not an eval account, whatever. But anyway, it's a good
And we
starting
told
point for a lot of people.
we told Michael that the CEO. We said the same thing, but like,
Yeah, we even told him after the interview was over, like we're having to adjust our trading style just a bit to what their rules are, especially in the eval account, because you can only have so much drawdown on a given position. And I told him straight up, I was like, yeah, sometimes in a position on my real account, I'm okay being down 500, $1,000 on certain positions, given what the setup is and where we entered. But on Trade the Pool, you can't do that. On the eval account, you can't do that. You can't be in $500 drawdown in a position and then let you stay there. It's just not gonna work. So we gotta make some adjustments.
yeah, but really, you should be thankful for that because, or we should be because, I mean, man, it's such training wheels, like, it's something that
Keeps you in check.
yeah, I mean, like, it keeps you in check for the amount. It keeps you in check for the amount of capital that you should be willing to risk. Because I mean,
$200 on a ticker is in real world money for somebody learning to trade is probably plenty. You know what I mean? Like if you're starting out and you have a 5K account, even a 10K account, because we talk about 1% risk of your account all the time. We talk about that often. So if you're on a 10K account and you're risking 1%, you shouldn't be risking more than $100. So for new traders that are hitting that eval account, $200 on a singular ticker or $700 on the day is plenty for people that are learning how to trade or getting into trading. It's plenty. I don't think
yeah,
you
I
need
mean,
more than that.
and you can, I mean, if it's something real liquid like MLGO today, I felt pretty confident hammering a lot of shares and getting that big win. But like with the tight risk tolerance on there, I could have easily got stopped out quickly if it
Like
went
me.
the wrong way.
Except I was short where you I literally think I shorted where you were long. Serves me right.
Dude, this past year, I cannot tell you how many times I've had like damn near top tick shorts in that like $7 area on stocks like that with into a wick. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I don't take any off. I'm like, I'm gonna risk even more. And I add into that curl and then it rips my face off.
Yep. That was MLG, whatever. That ticker. It was that ticker today. Because that curl off that wick. I'm gonna pull it up one more time because I know we're already about an hour. Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
This right here. How many times have we hit that wick and it just that's usually it. Usually when we see that wick and we hit it. The only thing that sucks about this one is I want to see this wick be the highest volume print of the day. And that wasn't the case, but it's pretty damn close.
I know, but that's what made me like. It gave me even more. And man, I wish I would have been chatting in there with y'all. It's just like I'm trying to be. I'm so much more careful with these eval accounts than I am my real account. Not like I'm reckless with my real account. It's just I know I'm not going to get stopped out on my real account. So on these, I'm like being like laser precise if I can.
But this was I don't know. I guess that wick, right? If I see that wick on the highest volume print of the day, I'm really excited about that. That wasn't the case today, and it curled back up. And anyway, on my real account, yes, crushed the trade, halt resume. Really happy about it. Looked like a pro. I waited for the halt resume. I sat all day long in the room. I hated the volume before that. Fortunately, it halted up and it gave me an opportunity. But I lost on it and trade the pool. Being too early off that wick. And I was even saying in the room, I think I said at one point, I was like, it sucks that that wick didn't have the biggest print, but it didn't have the biggest. But anyway, it is what it is. I don't have any complaints though about trade the pool. Like, whatever. You got risk management you got to follow. You got to play by their rules. If they're going to pay me to play by the rules, I'm going to play by the rules and they'll pay me. I'm cool with that. But I'm still going to trade my real account at the same time.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I've said this before, and I'm not knocking anybody. Maybe I shouldn't even say it because I don't mean it towards any of our buddies.
Say it.
I'm just if you can't trade this correctly, like if you're trying to, and I don't mean you, I don't mean any of our buddies. I'm just saying if you can't do this one correctly, trade the pool, trade it by its parameters, and you haven't ever actually made it before to an over PDT account, you're not going to. I mean,
more capital doesn't mean more success.
No, I've blown up, $30,000 accounts before.
Yeah, more capital. Like I remember thinking, people who are over PDT are going to have more success because they're not crippled by the 3 trades in a 5-day period. I don't think that's true. I think PDT sucks. I think it should go away.
I think PDT makes people make bad decisions because they don't want to stop out because they know they have, or at least
if you're on your last trade of the week, you don't want to stop out because then you have no more trades. You want to swing it so you have access to another trade. But we're the only country in the free world that has PDT because government. But whatever. I don't have any complaints about it. We're gonna try to use it to just make some extra money on the side, and thus far I'm happy. And they're gonna fix level 2. I already talked about that. They're gonna get access to more. That was in the interview. They're gonna get access to more market data, and the level 2 is gonna be much more in depth. And then the execution. So we'll be able to share and show more trade the pool charts because those executions will stay there. I don't have any complaints about it, but I agree with you. If you can't manage risk in one, you can't manage risk in the other. Like our boy Jet, he's trading on a pretty big account and he risks like $50 a trade on a big account. Like
Jet has been trading long enough to know what not to do,
Yeah, and people were kind of like going at him because he doesn't have a max loss. And while I think everybody should have a max loss, if he can keep himself in check and stick to that $50 risk, okay, that's fine. But he's got some experience. But yeah, I still think everybody should have a max loss. But he risked like $50 a trade. He's either right immediately or he's out. He don't give a shit about his win rate. His win rate could be 20%, but if he's making money, he doesn't care. So he'll literally risk like $50 on a trade, and if he's right immediately and makes a few $100 per trade. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I know.
And some days he'll walk away with $800,000 more sometimes.
800,000?
No, 800 to $1,000.
I thought you said 800,000. I was like, good Lord.
No, but did you see his peak euphoria period in 2020 or 2021 when in like 3 or 4 month period he racked up like 250K?
I know at one point he was up like 500 grand.
He was killing it. Hot market. He was killing it. His style. I mean, he was more long biased, man. Like he was killing it. That was a crazy market. Anyway,
oh hey, James. Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. We're gonna talk with them more. We're gonna talk with them more. They're gonna continue to innovate and change. We were super happy to hear the level 2 is going to improve. We were super happy to hear that their partnerships are going to improve, that the executions on charts are going to,
And look, No, go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No. I was gonna say I think their program as a whole is really solid for either new or seasoned traders. If you're a seasoned trader, I need to do better about just mirroring my own shit. If I'd have mirrored that MLGO, if I'd have mirrored that verbatim into trade the pool, I'd have passed my fucking eval. I'd already be done. Instead, I'm not treating it the same. I need to treat it the same. But seasoned or new trader, it is one hell of a way to get into it.
Dude, I mean, and apparently this has been around for a little while, but we looked at it hadn't been around that long. Because
Well,
like
they're
I said,
backed by the Fivers, I noticed, which has been a prop firm for quite a while. 5%ers or five, whatever they're called.
yeah. Man, there's so many futures prop trading firms, and like I said, I use Apex. I see people talking shit about Apex all the time. I can show y'all right now on my phone where Apex just sent me a deposit this week.
Yeah, you've gotten a couple payouts from them.
It's like number 4.
So
anybody talking shit about Apex, I mean, I told you, dude, my bank was hitting me up, and they're like,
oh yeah,
I live in Alabama, man. We're old timey bank. It's called Bryant Bank. You know, like the Bear, the coach, and small bank. But like everybody knows me because I used to always. Well, I say used to. I'll be like getting wire transfers and stuff. They'll call me if I'm getting a wire transfer. If I have to wire money out, it's like it's just a big thing. But I like it.
dude, that ticker was mother. I was trapped in CCG a couple days ago in my trade the pool account, and I didn't get out pre-halt. And
Yo, James, was this you? I just happened to pull up Twitter, and this is the first thing I saw. Was this you?
I don't know who that is, but though. So 2 things I would say on that chart: A, balls of steel to add into that and to hold that, and B, this was a big win by the time it was all said and done.
Oh, that's what he said. It was like biggest win of September or something like that.
Oh, he said that wasn't him.
Okay, good, because dude, this is
that can wipe you out.
Yeah, man.
That gives me anxiety right there.
Oh, dude, this reminds me of myself a few years ago. I used to trade like this. I'd be like, but it was like, 1,000 shares here, 500 shares here, and then like I'd be like 1,000 more, and then I'd be like, I'd be in for like, I'd have a 50K account, and I'd be in for like a $90,000 position.
All that leverage.
But then it's like if my break even point was here, I'm covering here for $1,000.
Right.
I'm like,
yep.
Ooh, yeah, I was down.
We know people that do that.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh my god, I was down.
Dude, yeah, this chart gives me anxiety, man. Because all it takes is one more halt up, and this person is probably wiped out. They're probably out of the game. Done.
Yeah, no offense if whoever's watching this, if this is your chart, no offense at all. Just because they even posted what was it? Don't get margin called strat or something like that, and I was like, man, I'm gonna take it off before I.
One more halt up on a chart like that, and that'll take somebody out of the game. Like, out. That ad works until it doesn't, as they say. All it takes is one. You'll win 9 out of 10, but the one you don't win, you're done. Or you're taking a massive loss. Whatever. Anyway.
Oh, damn it. I actually do know who this was, so.
I was trapped as it halted at 8. Yeah, that implied open off that halt was crazy because it was showing a super high. Like it was the implied open at one point, like 10 and almost 11, and then it kind of came back. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, dude, that was a crazy ticker, man, and it was like the biggest runner we've seen in a while. Yeah, China.
We know some guys. Anyway, we're well over an hour. Hopefully, we offered some sort of value. Subbies are still going to be a thing. China tickers are obviously still a thing. I'll trade both if the setup is there. I don't discriminate, but I like my subbies to be not 10 cents. I'll say that. Sellers should use the chart to talk about how it changes old habits.
Use that chart. Oh, man. And you know what? It's a shame that, because I don't know if you were following me then, Lewis. I don't know how long you've been trading, but last year I made a post. I made a big post on my old Twitter, you know, the one that they stole from me because I'm bad, apparently. I made a huge post with stuff from like one of my old hard drives. It was charts and P&Ls from like some of my massive losses from the past like 3 or 4 years. And I had a chart from where I was just adding on one. It was an Amex ticker. I did something similar to that. It wasn't that many ads. It was more like there were ads like way further apart, but it was something that gapped up. I was trying to trade it kind of like a VWAP pop, but then it did something crazy, held back over VWAP, and then just started grinding and kept going and going and going. Started off with me being down like 10 grand, and then it came down and I was up like 1,000. I'd added so much, and I should have taken that 1,000 off because I was already up a few thousand on the day, but this is either 2020 or 2021 market, and I was used to making 5-10 grand in a day. Sometimes it wasn't as big, you know what I mean? So I pushed it a little further. I was like, I'm gonna make this a big win. Well, then it curls again, and next thing you know, I'm in it with like nearly $100,000 position, or like $92,000 position on like a 50K account. Yeah, like leveraged out, whatever it was, and got margin called. It was like a $32,000 loss in like 45 minutes. It's pretty painful. I got a big dent in my garage door out there from it.
Trading can bring out the worst and the best in people in the same day, same hour, same minute.
Yeah, and then of course I had like a couple of buddies that in town that don't trade anymore, but like wanted to come over after that. It was like a Friday, and they were coming over. They're like wanting to talk trading, and I was like, just trying to be in a good mood.
Maybe one day we'll do a live where we show all our loss point. I have some old charts in TraderSync that are pretty rough.
Yeah, his are more like smart losses, like where he was just like having paper cuts and shit. Mine were like David Capablanca losses, where I like just adding like last year. I was having a great year, and then that
we'll do that. We'll do a live on some old charts, because some of my biggest losses aren't add. It's where I cannot be wrong. I refuse to just be wrong, and I keep shorting, covering 50 times the whole way up, and take a massive stupid loss because I just refuse to be wrong. We'll do that. We'll have to like go through some. We'll have to dig, but we'll make that happen.
Mine were me refusing to be long too. I mean, long.
Yeah, I get, yeah, because you're adding.
I was refusing to be long. No, I was refusing to be wrong, and I was I had one last year where I was in BCEL in like February or something, and it was like February 20th, and it was like flat all day. I had shorted it in the morning. I used to trade like way bigger size too. I've sized down. And next thing you know, I had my stop set, and I was on trade zero. Now this might have been last year. It might have been 21. I've been with Cobra now for a little while. But anyway, I had a stop set, and I just skipped my stop. They didn't take me out, and I checked my phone. I was out like doing yard work, and I look, and I'm down like $9,000 or $8,000 on the position. I was like, holy shit, it's rocketing, just dollar after dollar right at the end of the day. And I was like, I don't want to take this loss now. Add into it. Goes up even higher. When I saw that I was down 12, I was like, all right, cut it. Took that loss. That was a big ass loss. I don't like taking. I mean, that's way too big of a loss for me to take now.
Yep. We'll I want to do what he's talking about. We'll do a video at some point. We'll get some losses together, and we'll show. That's a good idea. I got plenty.
Try to find it, man. I've got my old phone that I used to trade on. I still have it here in the drawer. And I had like some really long, like thread type write-ups where I showed all kinds of big ass losses to people. And I did it on my old Twitter, like at the end of last year. And I tried to log into my old Twitter the other day just to get some stuff like that off there. And they've deleted all of it. Pictures of my son that I don't have on my phone. I mean, they're just some bastards, to be honest.
That sucks, dude. I'd be
so
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be
I'm sure I can find it somewhere, like, but you know.
We'll get it together. We'll get some loss porn together, and then we'll share that. Cause, yeah, that's gonna be.
People, you know, they appreciate seeing that shit. And sometimes
everybody on Twitter wins, man, all the time. None but wins. So we'll show some nasty losses. But anyway, okay, for real, we're well over an hour.
Hey, man,
yeah, you're just in time to see us go. But we gotta, you know.
Sorry.
I gotta feed my people. I'm hungry. But we'll put that together. Appreciate everybody that listened, tuned in. You know, the like, subscribe, share, etc., etc., etc. I think I'm good, man.
Yeah, man, me too. I hope y'all got something out of it. There wasn't a whole lot going on this week, but
yeah, it's just some good conversation about some real world shit. But we'll get some stuff together on some losses because I think that would be insightful. And plus it'd be some good reflection on what not to do, because actually MLGO or MG, whatever that ticker is, today what I did in Trade the Pool was some very old habits that was stupid. You know, it was short cover, short cover, short cover, short cover the whole way up like 6 times. And anyway, we'll get into that. But appreciate y'all. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your weekend. Good luck with all your shit. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but I'll holler at you. Appreciate y'all. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.
All right, brother.